PPT, mediastinum radiological perspective. Here you can see there are three windows: yellow anterior, red middle, and the posterior. Green posterior mediastinum, green one. Boundaries, anterior mediastinum boundaries. How to remember? So what do you do is, so this is the sternum. So anterior mediastinum anteriorly bounded by the sternum, posteriorly by this is the shadow of the trachea. Posterior boundary is by the anterior aspect of the shadow of the trachea and the posterior margin of the heart. This is the heart and this is the posterior margin of the heart. Now this posterior border of the anterior mediastinum becomes the anterior border of the middle mediastinum. So middle mediastinum की anterior boundaries is nothing but the anterior aspect of the trachea as well as the posterior margin of the heart. Middle mediastinum. Now coming to the posterior mediastinum. Posterior mediastinum again. The anterior margin is by the thoracic vertebra, posteriorly by the costo and the vertebral junction. Costo-vertebral bodies or junctions. These are the boundaries just as I described. Contents. So what are the contents? So anteriorly we have the thymus. So the important thing is thymus, usually found in neonates, and thymic remnants in adults. Heart and descending aorta. And also lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are common in anterior as well as in middle. Thymus is in anterior, ascending aorta and heart. So what does middle mediastinum have? Middle mediastinum has descending aorta, trachea as well as esophagus. So trachea, esophagus. Now posteriorly there are paravertebral soft tissues, ribs, vertebra. Now the masses that can arise from the compartments. So what are the masses that can arise from the compartments? These are nothing but the 4 T's: thyroid, thymus, teratoma, terrible lymphoma. So thyroid, thymoma, teratoma, T cell lymphoma or terrible lymphoma. Middle, lymphadenopathy. So middle, what does it have? Middle has trachea, esophagus and descending aorta. Remove descending aorta, tracheal anomalies, esophageal anomalies. So esophageal lesions and tracheal tumors, and posteriorly we have vertebra. So vertebra, any abscess or spinal lesions arising from this. So here rib spleen and vertebral body erosions as well as intervertebral disc vertebral bodies. And also most commonly lymphadenopathy usually occurs in anterior mediastinum. It often has a lumpy, bumpy appearance. Now the normal mediastinal borders are nothing but the cardiac borders. So what are the cardiac borders? Cardiac borders are covered in previous seminars. Now coming to the aortic arch. In young individuals they are not as prominent, but as a person progresses to middle age, unfolding of the arch of aorta occurs. So how does it look like? So these are the cardiac borders. So right side, this is the border, left side, this is the border, this is the pulmonary trunk, pulmonary trunk, this is the arch of aorta. So here we can see that we have this is the arch of aorta, this is the pulmonary trunk, and if we compare it with this side, compare this area with this area, and you can see that there is a swelling or unfolding which is occurring. So this unfolding, compare with this. Now compare this with this X-ray. This is an 80-year-old male, and you see this thing. So this is completely unfolded. And also compare the mediastinal wideness. There is widening of the mediastinum. So as age progresses, there is widening of mediastinum, but this is mainly due to the unfolding of the arch of the aorta. Here you can see, as we even get older, the mediastinal contour continues to widen. That is what is seen here in this X-ray. Coming to interface lines and stripes. So what are these interface lines and stripes? So what happens is, we have several grids. Like when you were in your maths class in school, there used to be notebooks like this. Notebooks like this helps you in writing digits and all. This is also found in Amsler's grid. Amsler's grid. So what happens is, when such grids are present, if any lesion is present, so if any lesion is present, these grids will distort, contour. Such distortion, contourism of lines will help us in finding out what kind of a lesion is it and the location of the lesion. So these interface lines and stripes are usually seen on a normal X-ray. So seen on normal X-rays, these are totally 6 in number. 6 mediastinal lines or stripes in number. Now I am going to discuss only about 2 of them. 2 are very important, the other are okay, not so important. So the 2 are nothing but, one is the paratracheal. So for example, this is a person. So one is the right paratracheal, the other one is the left paravertebral. So one is the right paratracheal, the other one is the left paravertebral. So what happens here, right paratracheal stripe is formed when the right lung is abutting the right side of the trachea. So for example, what do you say? Wait, I will give you a picture. So what happens, for example, this is the trachea. If this is the trachea, air inside trachea is black. Okay. So there is lung abutting this trachea. So this gap between the trachea and the lung, this is called as, this is on the right side. So this is called right paratracheal, beside the trachea. So paratracheal stripe. So this is known as the right paratracheal stripe. So here, right paratracheal stripe. So So the right lung abuts the right side of the trachea. It is visible on almost 60% of normal chest x-rays. Also, one important thing that we need to understand is that there is no left paratracheal stripe. There is no matching stripe on the left side. Here red lo chuskunte there is no matching stripe on the left side. Why there is no matching stripe, if you ask me? So this is the right paratracheal stripe, and normally the distance of the the size of the stripe should not exceed 2.5 mm. Scale the పెట్టి measure చేస్తే 2.5 mm కంటే ఎక్కువ రాకూడదు that stripe. Here this is the same diagram that I drew. Here this distance is this thing is 2.5 mm. That is the right paratracheal stripe. And here in this B picture you can see that the distance between this is increased. It is more than 2.5 mm, and usually it is due to the same side lymph node enlargement, adjacent lymph node enlargement. Compare this distance with you. Now coming to the left paravertebral stripe. So left side near the vertebra, it is usually seen on all well-penetrated x-rays. And this is because mainly due to the descending aorta, and this descending aorta displaces the left lung laterally. So there is a descending aorta and there is a left lung. So this aorta usually is pushing the left lung, and this space that is present is usually called the left paravertebral stripe. So the descending aorta pushing the left lung. So the descending aorta pushing the left lung creates this left-sided paravertebral stripe. Now what happens is a right paravertebral stripe usually is not seen, but what happens is when a person comes to middle age-related osteophytes are present, and then usually it can be seen. So this is a paravertebral stripe. So you can see left side a paravertebral stripe is seen, but right side it is not seen. So left side it is seen, right side nothing can be seen. So this is again a picture display. Left side it is seen, right side only when age-related osteophytes are present. Now 4 other lines, these are not so much important. So these are azygoesophageal lines, anterior junction line, posterior junction line, and the aortopulmonary stripe. That is the aortopulmonary stripe. Now how do you know whether a mass is in anterior mediastinum, middle mediastinum, or posterior mediastinum? So anterior mediastinal mass, we have to look at how the anterior mediastinal mass is present. So if you remember the earlier point, we used to say that the anterior mediastinum contains lymph nodes, heart, ascending aorta, as well as thymus. Thymus is important. So whenever a mass is present, it can efface or outline the heart border and the ascending aorta. So that is the point that is given here. It is effacing the heart border. So the heart border is effacing. and it will not affect the hila or the paraspinal line which is present in the posterior mediastinum. P for P, paraspinal, posterior mediastinum. Now middle mediastinum mass. Now middle mediastinum mass, what it will do? This is the carina. This angle is increased. So this mass is increasing the carinal angle. So it will splay means it will increase the angle of the carina or efface the hilar shadow. Hilar, not the hard border, nor the paraspinal line. Okay. So this is the normal carinal angle. So the normal carinal angle is 50 to 100 degrees, while an angle more than 100 degrees indicates splaying, and this mass is splaying the carinal angle. While a posterior mediastinal mass will displace the paravertebral stripes laterally. So here you can see how this is displacing. So this is how the mass will displace the paravertebral stripes, and it will erode the vertebra or the ribs, because the contents of the posterior mediastinum are the vertebra. So it will erode the vertebra or the rib. It will not affect the heart or the hilum. Heart is anterior, hilum is the middle. So let us come to this picture. This is a test. Now you apply all the knowledge that is shared in this video and see what kind of a mass is it. What kind means where is this mass located. So let me just highlight the mass. Where is the mass? This is the mass. So if that is the mass, where is it located? So located on the left side. Okay. So what you can see, I have given the arrows, and the arrows is tracing out the heart shadow. So heart shadow is visible. So when heart shadow is visible and the descending thoracic aorta is not visible, that means it is visible only till this area, but beyond this it is not visible. It is visible only till this area, beyond that it is not visible, but the hard border is visible. That means this is a mass located in the posterior mediastinum. Once again check for yourself and let me know where the mass is. Now this is another X-ray. Apply this yourself and find out where the mass is. Okay. So one important point is here that in this X-ray there is no mass, there is no lesion, there is no mass. This is a normal X-ray. No, this is not even a normal X-ray. So what is happening? There is a opacity. Where is the opacity? I cannot see the opacity, sir. That means just look here. This diaphragm is visible, but left side where the diaphragm is visible, up till here only it is visible. Here the diaphragm is not visible. So effacement of the left side of the diaphragm, indicating this is left lower lobe. Consolidation. So this is a pneumonia case. Okay, no? Just for confusion I kept. Now see what this mass is, where this is located. Look at the heart border, look at the hila, look at the posterior ribs. So mass is present on the, where is the mass? This is the mass. So right side. Okay, heart border, is it visible? No. not visible. Okay, heart border is not visible, so there only we can find that it is in the anterior part. So anterior mediastinum mass. Okay, this same mass we'll do a right lateral view. Let us see how it is. See, this is a right lateral view. This is a right lateral view. This right lateral view mass, and compare this with the first slide that I showed. So here this is the anterior compartment, this is the middle compartment, and this is the posterior compartment where the mass is located in the anterior compartment. So this is a pericardial cyst. Pericardial cyst in the anterior mediastinum. Here, this is the frontal X-ray, this is the lateral X-ray. Now diagnose this, what is this, and let me know. Also diagnose this. So which sign is helpful for all the above images? Important. You know this. This is nothing but the Silhouette sign. Now coming to mediastinal versus cardiac diseases, we shall look at this at another session. Okay. Good night.